If you're tired of posting on Instagram and seeing zero results, or maybe you're not posting on Instagram at all because you feel really overwhelmed, this video is gonna change everything. I used to post on Instagram with zero intention, and I would spend so much of my time thinking about Instagram to the point where it would really stress me out. It wasn't until I developed this 6-part system that allowed me to create content quickly, but more importantly, that actually gets results and that I also really like. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through this 6-part system from strategy to scripting, organizing, filming, editing, and posting. Let me walk you through each step and how to do it in the most efficient and results-oriented way possible. Phase 1 is your strategy. And for me, I've been struggling with my strategy for the last year and a half, ever since coming back from my sabbatical. And it wasn't until I discovered this tool, Poppy AI, where I finally got clarity, action, and momentum. And luckily for me, Poppy AI is the sponsor of today's video. So I want to show you not only how I came up with 120 high converting content pieces for my account, but also how I created this automated content system that allows me to create high converting scripts in less than 5 seconds. So let me share my screen and show you how I built this. But before I dive in, let me first explain how Poppy AI works in its simplest form. For me, I think Poppy AI is way better than ChatGPT when it comes to content because I can take any creator's video that I feel is performing extremely well for them that I want to model for my specific niche. Let's use this video, for example, by Chloe Shi. I will then paste it into Poppy, and then I will also paste my website from my niche or any content pieces that I have, feed it into Poppy, and then ask Poppy to model Chloe Shi's content into my own niche and write a script for me. This all happens within less than 5 seconds. I didn't need to transcribe her video. I didn't even need to watch her entire video. And yet Poppy AI has come up with the perfect script for me. Now this is only scratching the surface of what Poppy is capable of. So now I'm gonna show you step by step how I used Poppy AI to come up with my Instagram strategy, but also this exact automated content system. Now with any strategy, you first want to define what you want to achieve. And in a perfect world, you already know what that vision is. But for me, I don't really know how to articulate what I want to achieve. So what I'm going to do in Poppy AI is I'm going to open up the AI chat, and instead of typing out my issue and what my vision is, I'm instead going to record a voice memo and talk to Poppy AI as if it was a friend. So I used to sell online courses about how to grow on Instagram. I felt really trapped in that niche, so I shut that business down and took a year-long sabbatical. During that time, I also started a milk tea business called Super Boba. I want my page to also showcase my journey as a founder of Super Boba, but also document my life in general, such as life lessons I'm learning, lifestyle content that relate to my interests like fashion, beauty, and fitness. I want people to feel like they're following a friend and growing with me rather than feeling like they're following a guru. I don't want to be confined to one specific niche. Is it possible for me to build an Instagram strategy around that? So as you can see, Poppy AI transcribed my voice note, and we'll see what Poppy AI says. Poppy AI has come up with a foundation for my strategy, and it's also validated what I want my vision to be. I love that it suggested some content pillars that I could do and the specific ratios for each one, as well as some implementation strategies, audience transition strategies, and so many other recommendations that I can consider. What you can also do is over on the sidebar, click on the voice recorder and then start recording your voice memo. Once you're done, you're actually going to have that voice memo separate so you can link it into your chat and then ask, can I create an Instagram strategy based off of my vision? This is really helpful if you want to start multiple conversations but reference the same voice note. Now that Poppy has understood what I want to achieve, the next step is to create clear constraints. I'm going to head over to the sidebar here and create 4 groups. Now the first group is going to be expert advice. The second group is going to be inspiration accounts. The third group is going to be my content. And then the last group is going to be Super Boba content, which, by the way, Super Boba is my other company. Now, creating these 4 groups is important because later we're going to feed all the information that we're putting in these groups into the Poppy AI chat. But first, we need to input that information. So within the expert advice group, I'm going to start pasting videos and podcasts and resources that I've been learning from the last year and a half that I haven't really had the chance to actually execute and implement in my content. So for example, there's this podcast that I've been listening to. It's really catered to DTC founders, DTC brands that want to create better content. And there are a lot of episodes that I've listened to that I really want to implement, but I just haven't had the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the resources that I like, and then I'm going to simply Control V and paste it into Poppy AI and put it in the group. Now, what you can also do is on the sidebar is you could actually paste the link right here. You can do YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, TikToks, LinkedIn posts, websites, basically anything you want. So real quick, I'm just gonna keep doing that for all the videos I want to learn from. And as you can see here, I've also added a TikTok TikTok resource from a creator I saw that did a case study on this influencer who blew up in a very short amount of time just by being authentically herself. And I love the case study so much, so I want to learn from it. Now I'm going to move on to the second group, which is my inspiration accounts. This is where I'm going to paste all of the videos that I've seen on my feed that I feel really inspired by and that I also want to model from. For example, there is this creator, Grace Beverly, who I feel is doing such a great job sharing her founder's story in a really authentic way. You kind of feel like you're just following another friend. And so I'm going to take a few of her content pieces and load it up in this group. Not only have I added some videos from Grace Beverly, but I've also added a few other content pieces that I really admire from other creators who have a style that I feel very inspired by. Now moving on to the third group down here, and that is my content. So I'm going to go over to my Instagram and pick a few content pieces that I really enjoyed making, but also performed very well with my audience. Now that I've pasted 4 to 5 content pieces from my account, the last group is my super boba content, because again, my strategy is to be able to fuse my two worlds together. Now, the cool thing that you can do with Poppy is not only can you put in social media content, but you could also put in websites. So for me, I'm just gonna put our super boba website. And then I'm also going to add a few key content pieces as well. Now that I have all 4 groups loaded, the expert advice, content that inspires me, my content, and also Super Boba's content, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna go back to Poppy understanding what my overarching strategy is, and then I'm going to copy this entire thing just so I don't forget it. And then I'm going to create a text box right here and paste all of that information. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to create a new conversation and then feed all of this information into Poppy AI so that it knows which expert advice I really want to build the foundation of my strategy off of, and also context related to the accounts that inspire me and also my own accounts as well. What I'll also do is I'll also connect this note so that Poppy knows that I want to build a multi-dimensional Instagram strategy. And by the way, this is unique to me, so when you build your system, it'll be unique to you. Next, I'm going to ask Poppy AI, based on the expert advice and accounts that inspire me, what's a good prompt to ask to get a solid content plan and ideas for my account and what I want to achieve that I can immediately execute on. Now, this is helpful because a lot of times we don't know what to ask AI. So the best thing you can do is literally ask AI back, what is the best prompt that I should use? And so now Poppy's came up with a perfect prompt for me where it asks to create a content pillar strategy, 30-day content calendar, founder storyline framework, and so much more. So I'm going to copy all of this and then I'm going to paste it into the chat. Now, there are a few things within this prompt that I have to fill out, so I'm just going to do that really quickly. All right, so now that I filled out some of my context, I am now going to send over this prompt into Poppy AI. Now it's coming up with a complete 30-day content strategy for me. And by the way, if you don't like this mind map style that Poppy AI has, what you can do is just click full screen and then you're only gonna have the chat. Now with this prompt, Poppy AI has come up with 5 content pillars and a little bit more detail under each pillar. It's also created a unique storyline framework, and it's so cool because the storyline strategy is actually something that I came up with over on my channel and content, which I did feed into Poppy AI. I also love that it's come up with a 30-day content calendar focusing on top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, including very specific hooks that I could use. And it turns out that it's also done it for each week for the first month. There's also some growth hack formulas that I can rotate between, and I'm gonna assume that this came from some of the expert advice that I fed into Poppy, or also the inspiration content that I used. And of course, there are so many other things. Now, to take this a step further, one thing that I really like is the content pillar strategy. So I'm gonna follow up and I'm gonna start building a library of all of the content pieces that I can create, not just for the first month, but really for the next few months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow up with Poppy AI and I'm going to say, I really like the content pillars you suggested. Can you please provide 30 high potential content ideas for each pillar? Now, as you can see, Poppy AI has now come up with 150 high potential content ideas for me following each pillar of my content strategy that it created with me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of these pillars and all of these content ideas. I'm going to go back to my mind map, and then I'm gonna create another text box. This will now be my library that I can tap into whenever I need new ideas. Now, even though we have a solid content strategy, a plan, and solid high potential content ideas, the next phase is to actually start scripting these videos. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlink everything for now. I'm gonna create 2 more groups. The first group, I'm gonna call it Expert Hook Advice. And then the second group, I'm gonna call it Expert Script Advice. So over on social media, I've come across a lot of viral hook formulas and masterclasses.
Your stupid ass needs to stop doing it.
Number 1, I started my X-Biz at age X with only X dollars.
So I'm going to paste all of those resources within the first group, which is the expert hook advice. Again, this is following the exact same strategy of copying the video link and then pasting it inside the group. Now that I've loaded up the expert hook advice, I'm now gonna do the same process, but for scripting. So again, there are a lot of videos that I've seen that really teach you step by step what scripts to use, but because I don't have a lot of time to really digest and implement everything, I'm gonna get Poppy AI to do it for me.
If your videos are not getting views, it's probably because you're not scripting them right.
I don't care how good your content is. You're still missing this one crucial element.
So now that I have both the expert hook advice and expert script advice linked up, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start with the hooks, and I'm going to link the hook advice into Poppy AI. Now I'm gonna ask, based on the expert advice around hooks, please create a framework and list of formulas I can use as a guideline and follow for all of my future Instagram videos. Now Poppy AI is reading all of the videos and resources that I sent to create a perfect formula that I can apply to all of my content. And what I love is that it really implements every single thing that was taught in these little videos that I sent, including plug and play formulas. For example, these 21 hook templates are awesome. So once I've copied this, I'm going to create a new text box and then paste the entire guide into this box. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the exact same thing for my expert script advice. So I'm going to unlink all of the hook advice. Then I'm going to link the script advice and ask the exact same thing. Based on the expert advice around scripts, please create a framework and list of formulas I can use as a guideline to follow for all of my future Instagram videos. And as you can see here, I've got a 5-step script writing process that I can follow, more proven hook formulas, because I'm assuming that the resources I shared included that, a complete script structure with various approaches I could use, and so many other things I can follow, such as content-specific formulas and advanced techniques. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna copy all of this and again add it to my system by creating a new text box and pasting all of the information inside. And by the way, don't worry, even though it looks blank, you can actually see all of the code here, so I don't have to recopy that over. Now, so far in this video, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, this is so much work, but now I'm gonna show you where the magic happens and why this investment of time was so worth it. So I've got 4 of these cards ready. I've got my content strategy, 150 high potential content ideas, which is basically my entire library of content, and also proven frameworks for hooks and scripting. So now I'm going to link all of this into my Poppy AI chat. And now whenever I want to create a video, all I have to do is access my library of high potential content ideas. In this case, I'm really interested in making a video on this topic, which is the real reason I left my YouTube comfort zone to start Super Boba. I'm gonna head over to my chat box. I want to create this video. The real reason I left my YouTube comfort zone to start Super Boba. Based on the expert advice around hooks and scripting, alongside my ideal content strategy for Instagram, can you please script this entire video? The video should be less than 1 minute long. And then within seconds, Poppy AI is going to come up with the entire script from A to Z, including all the visuals and hooks that I should be using. Now, based on skimming this script alone, it is absolutely perfect. I love that it leverages my story, my voice, but it's also leveraging proven scripts and frameworks that have worked well for other creators in different niches. I love that it's also remembered a lot of the constraints and a lot of the desires that I have, for example, wanting to be a friend rather than a guru. And it's also really clear that it's been using a lot of the advice that all those experts were sharing in their video. Now, as you can see within seconds, I now have a script that's really aligned with my vision, what I like to talk about, but is also leveraging frameworks that are proven to get results. And all I have to do now is whenever I want to create content, I can just access this library of 150 content ideas and repeat the process. Just by investing a little bit of time to build out the system, everything is pretty much automated, but most importantly, it's actually aligned with my unique vision on what I want for my account. Now, let's say you're someone that doesn't have the time to do all of this. Well, you can also simplify this further by creating a Poppy board and then pasting some inspiration content that you like, and then linking it to the content that you create so that Poppy has some context. And you can simply ask Poppy to model the inspiration content and tailor it to your niche. As you can see, the possibilities with Poppy AI are endless, and it's a no-brainer why I like using it and why I think it's really worth the investment. Yes, you can watch countless of YouTube videos. Yes, you can buy a course, but all of that will take you a lot of time. And if you're able to easily feed that into Poppy and pair it with your brand, now you're able to create content that actually feels authentic and will still get results. And by getting better results, you can now increase the amount of views that you get on your video, which will increase your brand sponsorship deals, or you can create better ads or write better emails that will convert your customers. And so in a way, Poppy AI to me pays for itself. Now to help you get started, I've not only linked my Poppy AI board in the description box below with all the frameworks that I came up with, but I've also included a $25 discount code that you can use at checkout if you would like to use Poppy AI. The link and code will be in my description box and in the comment section below. Now onto the third phase of my Instagram system, and that is organizing. So as I'm going back and forth with Poppy AI to create these scripts, I'm loading them into my Notion dashboard where I organize my content. So I've got 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is my content calendar for both my personal brand and Super Boba. The second content is where I'll put all of my short form content ideas and scripts. Below that is where I keep track of my YouTube sponsorships. And then next to that is where I keep track of my YouTube scripts, which is my main platform. Now the reason why I like my setup is I can easily drag my content ideas into my calendar, so it kind of schedules it in my mind. Now the fourth phase is filming. So here are my best tips in terms of how to film efficiently. Number 1, I batch film on my high energy days. How I know this is I track my cycle, and I know for me personally, I have the most energy, I'm the most natural on camera, I mess up the least during the 2 weeks after my period is over. This is specifically the follicular and ovulation phase. Personally, I really try to avoid doing any admin work or editing, anything that I can just do at my desk during my high output weeks, because I can always do those when I'm in my luteal phase or when I'm actually on my period. My second tip is batch filming, but more specifically having different outfit changes, especially outerwear. So when I'm batch filming, I really try to wear a very basic top, and then I'll have different cardigans, different jackets. That way it's a lot easier for me to change up the look without wasting too much time on changing my entire look. The second thing I do to make filming easier is I keep it simple. I've really come to terms with the fact that I'm not a creator that's gonna be cinematic, that's gonna think through all these angles like this. I know that my time is better spent filming content and getting as much content out there. And to do this, I'm not gonna worry about my tech. In fact, I'm just gonna film on my iPhone like we're all in a FaceTime, and that's going to be my style that I own. And the moment that I've accepted that, the more content that I've been able to put out on my page. I find that when you haven't established your brand voice yet, you don't know what your winning formula is, your time is also better spent just posting as many videos as possible to understand what that winning formula is so that you can build upon it. For example, over on the Super Boba page, we put out a lot of low effort videos that don't take a lot of time to edit. And consistently, we have found that the most high performing ones are the ones where me and Leon talk about our come up story and the struggles that we went through. Because we now have evidence that out of all of the things that we post about, this is what our audience likes the best, we can now spend more time doing more complex content like this that takes a lot more time to edit and a lot more time to film. Finally, the next thing that's helped me film more efficiently is really capturing as much B-roll as possible. It doesn't matter what it is. Whenever I'm out and about or even at home, I will take as many videos as possible because it's actually a lot easier for me to do voiceover content than talking head content, or to do trending content like this.
This is Vanessa. She's been a bubble tea addict for years.
But all of these require you to actually have some footage. And so by making it a habit to document you making a drink, getting ready, going to the gym, you're gonna have a whole library of content that you can easily create videos with. Now, once you're done filming your video, the fifth phase is editing. And the easiest way by far I've been able to edit my videos is using this video editing tool, Descript. With Descript, once I load up my video in a new project, it's gonna automatically transcribe the entire video so that I'm able to use text-based editing. Meaning, once I highlight a specific word, without even watching the video, it will automatically remove it from my video. But beyond this, what makes it the most efficient is if I highlight the entire transcript, within one click, I can automatically remove all of the retakes. I can also remove all of my filler words instantly. And my favorite thing to do is remove my word gaps. This is basically the little pauses in between my words. Now you can set this to as many seconds as you'd like, but I personally set it to 0.1 seconds. And once it's done, it actually makes my video feel a lot more concise and fast paced, which is perfect for short form videos. Now, once I've cleaned up the body of my video, what I can also do is add images. This is as simple as adding a new layer, dragging what I want to put in, and then putting it on my video. video. What I can also do is add text and sound effects so that I can create something like this.
Milk tea lovers, this is for you. Look at that.
And finally, when I'm done, I can just add captions. And by the way, with the captions, you have the ability to change the text, the style. You can even load up your own custom fonts. But definitely Descript has been game changing for me. I use it for my short form videos. I use it for my long form videos. I use it to screen record. And if you want a 30-day free trial, the code and the link will be in my description box below. Now, once my video is edited and exported from Descript, the next phase is posting. Now, the easiest way for me to transfer my files from my desktop to my iPhone is not using AirDrop, it's actually using iCloud. So I'll have two Finder windows, and within my iCloud, I have a special folder called Reels, and I will just drag all the files into that folder. Typically, it shows up instantly on my Files folder within my iPhone, and I'll quickly download all of them at once. Now, for me personally, I don't use an Instagram scheduler because I've noticed every time I've scheduled my Instagram Reels, I tend to get less reach. So let me know in the comment section below if you've noticed that too, or if it's just in my head and it's a total myth. But I'll typically just add all of my videos and load it up into my drafts. This way it's easy to post on the day of. Now, when it comes to the little things that I add on top natively in Instagram, it will be the trending audio. Now, pro tip here is as you're scrolling through the Explore feed, a best practice is to always save audio in a special folder. So the day that you're uploading, you're not scrambling trying to find the perfect music. Now, if I have a special resource to share or maybe an affiliate link, I'll also make sure I have my ManyChat automation ready to go. And by the way, if you want to try out ManyChat, I have a link in my description box below. Basically, when someone comments a specific keyword, it will trigger my bot to DM them the resource. This not only saves me a lot of time because generally when I share something, a lot of people ask me for the link, but in a way it also increases engagement on my post because it generates a lot of comments. And then finally, the last piece is my caption or cover photo. Lately, I don't really spend too much time on my captions, so I'll just write something really quickly. And then for the cover photo, if I do want to add some text, I just basically put it into Instagram stories, add the text that I want, download it, and then upload it as my cover. The best thing is with Instagram now, you can change the cover anytime, so I no longer really stress about this. Now, if you've gotten to this part of the video so far and you are feeling massively overwhelmed with all the things that I said, I understand and I got you. What I want you to do is watch this video next, where I cover how to overcome content overwhelm. I share very approachable strategies, core shifts to make, and I also walk through how to create the perfect schedule for yourself that matches your unique energy levels. As always, guys, I appreciate you, and I will see you in this video next.